everybody, and welcome to a team update for what is, early February. Gee, it's coming up quick, isn't it? It's the first upload I've done all year. First SuperCoach AFL upload I've done since the team picker last year, and made a few changes, but not too many. I'm still pretty happy to keep my structure and stick to my fundamentals that I was talking about in the last upload, how I don't really want to make too many changes, because in previous years I've looked back at my team and thought, gee, I wonder if I started that side, it would have been successful, possibly. So, yeah, we're just going to keep things pretty simple. And yeah, a few updates, a few housekeeping things. Obviously, I want to touch base on before we actually get stuck into the team. And being the first upload of the year, I haven't forgot about this at all. I actually have a little bit of a story that happened just before New Year's Eve. It's not really too relevant at the moment in my life, but if I'm going to catch anyone up, I definitely want to do it in this video, first upload of the year. So we'll get into that soon. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with the side. Nonetheless, I'm keen to get into it and discuss a few things. A little bit of an idea, a couple of ideas here, and that'll be good. Talk about the outlandish 40 trades we've got. I suppose the elephant in the room. People are freaking out all over Twitter. I've been having a look. I haven't been getting involved. I don't like confrontation on Twitter. I like a bit of light-hearted banter, but that's it. The second I get involved, just forget about it. But what I will say about it is, personally, my personal take on the 40 trades is, I'm more of a traditionalist. I do like the 30 trades. I think that's a really nice meeting point. I think 20 trades, like old school, is a little bit hard because you're just going to be so lucky at the same time with injuries, and it's a modern day game as well. We live in a time where there's a lot of suspensions, a lot of concussion protocols, so 20 trades seems a little bit absurd, where I think 40 is very generous, and people calling it SuperCoach fantasy. Well, it kind of is really. So I'm looking at a really aggressive approach. So I like to meet somewhere in the middle, and 30 trades I think is ideal. But I'm not dropping my head, because I and pretty much everybody watching this video loves SuperCoach, and you can complain about it all you want, but the fact of the matter is, it is what it is. I mean, what are we going to do about it? Not much. So I think the best thing to do from a player sense is just adapt to the conditions. It's like those that play footy, and you go out there on a Saturday morning and it's absolutely pissing down rain. What are you going to do? You're going to drop your head and go, nah, fuck this, I'm not going out there and playing. Or you're going to go out there and go, you know what, let's go out there and just fucking love it, let's enjoy it, let's adapt. And yeah, that's what coaches do, and this is what we should do as super coaches, is just get behind it and try our very best. And I'm going to do exactly that. 40 trades, 30 trades, 20 trades, I don't care. I'm in. I'm still playing. It is what it is. So I'm bloody pumped for this season. And it's going to be a bit of a challenge, because I don't think many people know how to adapt to it. But I've got a couple of ideas. One of them is DRs, and that's a really good one. I'll talk about that later on. Another one is my own idea. We'll see what happens. But yeah, that's something we're going to dive into eventually. Another thing, while talking about DR, SuperCoach Saw Play, we're taking another step forward this year. Janeth has just been in such great form. Myself and DR, we do all right, but Janeth has just worked so hard, and he's put together a SuperCoach Saw Play website where you can go on there and buy merch. People have been talking about it on Twitter and getting behind us, and it's happening. So not long now, we're going to be doing a little bit of a merch drop. I don't have an exact date. There's still a lot of financial things we're trying to work through in terms of orders and all that sort of boring stuff. But yeah, long story short, we're having a merch drop, which is just super exciting. So I can't wait for that, for our podcast. It's just really, really, really exciting. I'm looking forward to shredding SuperCoach Store Play merch, our podcast, in the round reviews, and spreading the word. So that'll be good. So and this story, I'll be quick with this, because I've absolutely rambled on something shocking. I haven't even gotten into the team. So I went to this festival with a group of mates called, shout out to anyone that was here. I doubt there would have been many, a few thousand, but a festival called Tanglewood up in Thornton, sort of near the hills, near Alexandra Way. Anyway, we drove through the hills to get there. So sort of up through Hillsville, all out the back there, and I thought I'd had everything. I was pretty prepared, but not as prepared as I should have been. Moral story, I forgot my headphones or my earmuffs, whatever they are. I can't sleep without them. There's going to be just noise all through the night. So I'm like, lads, we need to stop over a servo. We need to pull over so I can go in and have a look and get some earmuffs or earplugs. So we do that. I pull over, I have a look. They don't have any. But while we're there, we assess the situation, make sure we've got everything. Okay, let's have a suss because this is our last stop before we get there. All good. We leave and then we go to the festival. We're in a massive queue. There's hundreds of cars, like hundreds I'm talking. And I'm looking around going, like, I'm going to need my ID to get into this festival. But where's my wallet? I'm flicking around everywhere. We're in the middle of a queue. I can't turn around and go back because there's hundreds of cars behind me, hundreds in front of me, etc. It's just absolute pandemonium. I'm freaking out. I've lost my wallet. I've left it on the roof of my car at the Buxton petrol station here about an hour back down the road. So I'm freaking out going, how am I going to get in? Like, I had to freeze my cards. I've got no money at this festival. So one of my mates sort of operated as like a bank. I'd transfer him money and he'd get me cash out. It was an absolute horror show logistically. But more importantly, I've lost my wallet and I've lost my ID. How am I going to get in here? So I'm searching around my car and it wasn't my wallet, but it was a symbol of luck that I didn't really need anyway. I look behind me seat and I got my folder full of like my qualifications and like tax file number, all that important stuff. But in that was my birth certificate. So that would have got me into the festival, but they didn't even check. So I got lucky there. So I spent the whole time at this festival without a wallet, without a card, without ID, without anything really. I've literally just had Apple Pay, but I've cancelled my card. So I had no money whatsoever. All my cash, all my birthday money, all my stuff in my wallet is gone as far as I'm concerned. So I'm freaking out. I'm just thinking far out. This festival's sort of shattered because I've just had an absolute cough up. But anyway, a few days later, I go back home and I'm at my mates calling banks and shit, preparing to get new cards, and they want to do an ID check. And I'm with Bank of Melbourne, and where I am, I'm in Bendigo. For those that don't actually know where I am. That's my location, but there's no Bank of Melbourne. There used to be, but there's not anymore. The closest one's in Ballarat. So lady on the phone's like, it's going to take 2 or 3 weeks at least of just communication stuff, sending things back and forward, or you can get it done in a day, drive to Ballarat. I'm on the phone to her, just like, yeah, hands me head, just literally like, oh, this is the most stressful thing ever. I go back to work in a few days and I don't have a wallet, I don't have anything. My mates are literally just giving me money and I'm transferring them because I've literally got no choice. So, yeah, I'm packing all my stuff for the big trip I've got in the morning. I'm at my mate's house as well. This is important because I'm actually home. I get a text message from my roommate going, oi, I found your wallet in the mailbox. Like, what's the go with that? And it is the text message that I could have only have dreamt of. I was literally preparing for a massive road trip, all this fucking around, basically. And I go back home and, yeah, she wasn't joking. My wallet was right there on the couch and just instant relief. I still had to order new bank cards, which was really easy because I got my wallet back. Everything was just sort of sorted. And yeah, my card turned up within a few days, so that was really good. But yeah, I look in there, everything's there. My ID, all my gift cards, everything. I had $150 in there and there was $50 in there. So what I can only assume happened is because this happened like all the way near Hillsville to Bendigo. That's a long way. That's a massive drive. I saw a photo in the wallet. It was like a Polaroid camera photo, like a selfie, and it said "Wish you were here" or something like that. New Year's Eve, 2023, and a photo of what I assume would be a party or something like that. So I reckon they've actually used my money for petrol to drive up and drop the wallet in the mailbox because it just only happened over a few days over the holiday season. It wasn't in a parcel, so there's no way possible logistically that they could have posted it. So someone from that party either lives close to Bendigo and has dropped it off, or they've basically used my money in there for petrol because they've actually left me $50. It's not like they took all the money. They've left me at least something in there. My vouchers were in there, my ID, just everything, my forklift license, like all this really important stuff that I would have had to go through absolute hurdles just to recover. There's nothing worse than losing your wallet, and that was a big slap in the ass. And I thought I'd started New Year's off with an absolute killer blow, but yeah, it was a blessing in disguise. It was just the most relief I've ever been. But bit of a ramble, bit of a long story, but yeah, we got our wallet back, and I'm absolutely frothing. So yeah, massive shout out to those that retrieved it and gave it back to me. Just absolutely fantastic. So well done. I won't go on about that, but yeah, pretty radical story there. I've got to be one of the luckiest blokes going around over New Year's Eve. That's for damn sure. So SuperCoach, let's get on to the SuperCoach. Massive story. Gee, you'd think you'd be watching a Shorty video or something. I love watching Shorty shit. He just rambles on for like 10 minutes about something before he even gets into his review. What a man. But yeah, this is a side at the moment. So Sicily's been my side since day dot. I'm not going to really go into him all that much. But Ryan come in this morning, and I was talking to DR. When aren't I talking to DR, especially when I make a move in my team? But I'm looking for a little bit of a pod. Now, Tom Stewart, he's the guy that was there originally, and I think he's still going to be a top 6 defender. Make no mistake, but I just don't know how he's going to adapt to that sort of midfield role. They're going to play a bit more midfield this year. I don't know if that's actually good signs or not. Very highly owned, not in your 50, 60%, but yeah, sort of high 20, 30%. So I don't know if he's going to really hurt me too much, but it's just such a generic game nowadays, and pods are hard to come across. It feels like everyone's got everybody. So Luke Ryan is only in 3% of teams, and that's really important. That's like a super pod in today's game, and has the good buy. This is another thing I've done as well. I may as well touch on this now, but Ryan, Young, Sarong, Brayshaw, Butters. So all these guys don't have a buy until further down the season, and they've all got the same buy. And I know what you're thinking, Spills, what happens when they all have their buy? What do you do? Well, because we've got 40 trades, I'm actually thinking that I sideways trade like a Sarong and Brayshaw for, let's say, like Petrarca's just going off his head, Laird's going off his head later on the season. All these players have had their buys, and I'm like, I need to get these guys in. So Sarong and Brayshaw have a buy. We just sideways trade them to a couple players that we don't have, another set of Uber Primos, because we got 40 trades. And because this buy is later on the season, let's just assume that this team's nearly done. I don't know specifically when the buy is, but I'm pretty sure it's definitely around, like, way past the halfway point of the season. So I'm going to go ahead and assume that this team's almost done. Maybe I'm an upgrade away from completing it. Why wouldn't you use an extra trade here? Utilize a little bit of a fantasy approach. Those that play SuperCoach BBL, a little bit of that sort of approach, that primo that has a buy, just flip him to someone else that's still going to be just as effective, but you're not getting punished. And then, yeah, maybe hold a couple of them. I think that's pretty stock standard anyway. So that's my plan for Ryan, Young, Butters, Sarong, and Brayshaw. I don't see why you can't do that, because we got the trades there, and you don't want to start like this. Is why I don't have Dacos. He's got 2 buys and a Finn tag. Petrarca, Oliver Laird, they've all got terrible buys. I'm just loading up on players that have that later buy, and there's only 2 teams with that buy, Port and Freo, which is absolute gold. So yeah, that's not until later, so we can assess it then. But yeah, you got to consider the first buy in particular, and I think I've done that really well. So that's just a little bit of a strategy. We'll see what happens. I'm open to starting Tom Green as well, because DR proposed a really nice suggestion in his team update where you would theoretically have Tom Green for a couple of weeks, and then after Welsh's buy, jump on him. So that's a nice little strategy. I don't know if I'm going to go through with that, maybe, but at the moment, I love the idea of loading up on Freo and Port players, so we'll see what happens there. Young, absolute lock. I can't imagine a team where I don't have him in. He's just so cheap, such high upside. I think he's in nearly 50% of sides, rightly so, particularly those that are sort of top 1%. We're definitely going to own him, so I'm happy with Youngie. That's a fine selection. Williams, Hall, Caulfield, super stock standard. Gibcus, I like having Uber rookies on the bench, providing a lot of flexibility. I think that's where it's at this year. I've got a lot of depth on the rookie department, because I don't think they're that great this year. So yeah, I think you should pay up for Gibcus. I think he'll play a few games. I don't think he's going to be the best scorer. I've got him on the bench for now, and Same Zach Reid, similar sort of players, but he's having a really good preseason, Zach Reid, and as a Bombers man, I'm actually expecting him to get up round one. He's just been tearing it up, and we need him so bad. We need someone to come in for Zerk Thatcher. I know we've got Ben Mackay, but we need another one to free up Ridley as well, so Ridley doesn't have to play lockdown. So, and that'll be good for Supercoach too, those that want to jump on him. But yeah, I think Zach Reid plays. So yeah, midfield, paying up for Bonty. I don't think I had him in the last team. I can't remember or not. I thought he was way too overpriced, but I'm not starting a loophole this year because of all these buy players. I want someone that I can just straight up captain. You go back in 2019, we had Gawn and Grundy, like the exact same as now. The only difference is that they were both like 690, 700k. So why can't you pick one 700k player in Bontempelli? I don't know. I just think he's a genuine gun, super consistent. I think he's had one score like below 90 or some rubbish like that. So just a really safe as house as captain, someone that I'll probably just straight up captain every single week. You can't go wrong with the Bont. I just don't want to back against him. I'm happy to pay up for him. People talking about that surgery as well. That's just to get himself right for round one. He's gonna be flying. I won't worry about the Bont. He's the man. We love him. Zachy Butters is an absolute lock. LDU lock. Oh, I can't believe I'm saying that. He burnt me to a crisp last year. I jumped on 145 average and then just shut the bed and he was laid out. So crazy shit there, but hopefully he has a good run at it. He's had a great pre-season. Sent a few reports from him and he's looking nice. So we like LDU. Sarong and Brayshaw, both of them are in the team. Sarong and inside sort of bull. Brayshaw, he's a bit of a two-way runner. So yeah, I think they're both top 8 midfielders this year, if not top 10. So, and I just love their buy. I can't get past their buy. I either drop one of these two for Tom Green and then do that Welsh strategy that DR talked about on his channel, which is a great proposal. So I really like that idea. But at the moment, this is what I'm running with. We'll see what happens. Rookies, super stock standard. Everyone should have these three. I've seen a couple of sides without McKercher, few without Sanders. I mean, work around them in your team. They are going to play. McKercher's just been... I haven't seen a rookie in more pre-season posts than Colby McKercher. That left peg is dangerous. He's definitely the next Zach Merritt. Undoubtedly, but he's playing off half-back. He's going to see so much of it. Might even be a bit of a keeper. Who knows? But I'm getting Harry Sheasel vibes from last year. Absolutely. And Sanders is playing some really good footy over the pre-season in the match sim. He looks really good too. Just so explosive. So, yeah, I think this top 10 draft is really solid. And, I'm looking forward to what these rookies can turn into. Jeremy Sharp's in great form too. And the bench is just whatever. Wilson, Clark. This is a funny one. McAuliffe. So I saw something from the Phantom on Twitter. He's been dominating as a sort of inside mid at Richmond, and I think he gets a bit of a go. So someone's got to come in for that sort of Trent Cotchin player, and I think he's sort of up there. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, that's the midfield. Rucks haven't really changed. I've just gone Sweet at R3, which is fine. I'm happy with that. I think he might play. I want to play in R3. It's just great money, great accumulation, and just needs a little bit of a run at it. I think he's more than capable, so we'll see what happens there. Forward line, McRae, hamstring niggle, yes, but I don't think it's anything serious. Watch this space, but I think he's fine. I still worry about the selection. A few people fading him, and I understand that, but gee, who are you picking? I mean, Dustin Martin, he's having a great preseason too. Around the same sort of price, but terrible buy, wrong side of 30. So even though McRae's sort of getting up there as well, it's just a tough forward line to pick. So I'm just going to lock in McRae and see what happens. If he goes down, well, look, it's not going to hurt you too much. I mean, the whole competition's got him, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. I'm locking in Flanders, but this is where shit gets really, really dicey. I mean, far out. So Elijah Sardis, I think it might have been Andy McGrath or Dyson Heppel. I should know this being a Bombers, man. That's poor form for myself, but really high raps on him. Didn't get a pre-season last year. Come in, played some decent footy. Not great. Was a bit of a sub at times, but coming off a broken leg. He's having a full preseason now. This guy averaged 30, 35 disposals. I think he was second behind Will Ashcroft, I'm pretty sure, in that draft a couple of years ago. So he's a really good player. He's more than capable. And I don't think the downside's too catastrophic because he's only 245k. I mean, and he's got multiple sub games in there too. So I think there's way more upside than downside. He's someone I'm really bullish on as a Bombers man. I think he's going to play a lot of wing. That's the real sort of flaw with this pick. But I've been watching a little bit of George stuff as well, and he made a really good point. But Sardis is a great accumulator, and I think there'll be a lot of nice inside 50 hit-ups. So only needs a few of those to score a really fair and reasonable, maybe 70, 75. That would be fantastic. So, and there's just not much. I mean, the forward line is as dry as it's probably ever been. And I bring up the 40 trades. Well, we got 40 trades. So if this goes shit, who cares? Go down to a Nick Watson or something if he starts strong before the price change, whatever. But I'm pretty happy with Sardis, and I'm keen to watch him play. He's going to be a really nice talent for years to come. A dicey selection, but I think you got to have a stab in the dark at this point, because what else are you doing? If this is the best I can come up with, like, there's always a risk in the forward line, and I think he's the most risky pick in terms of ownership because, like, Billings maybe a little bit of a pod, but, like, Reed and Manor, I'm pretty sure are in, like, probably the most highly owned players in the comp. Flanders and McRae, super highly owned. You got to have a little bit of a point of difference. So mine is Sardis, who's in 10% of teams. Like Gaundy, really highly owned. So I'm happy with my structure, but I'm believing having pods, and all these players are in a lot of sides. But Ryan, 3%, Sardis, 10%. And I'm hoping that they can start strong and sort of get my foot up a little bit, if that makes sense. You know, I can have a Stewart there, or I can have a Nat Fyfe instead of Sardis, but they're just so highly owned, and you're just not going to jump that far ahead if it does succeed, because everyone's got them. You're sort of hoping that the highly owned players do shit the bed a little bit, and then you can take advantage of your pods. But yeah, not just picking a pod for the sake of it. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, these are sort of two players in particular that I've kept tabs on, and yeah, Ryan's the one that I'm really sort of keen on this year, because I just think last year, I mean, just every single week they just kick it to him, they use him. He's an ultimate seagull, and he just gets so much junk too. High ceiling as well, barely goes under 90, but capable of going 140 plus consistently. I think 5 or 6 scores last year were above 140, so he's got a massive ceiling. So we'll see what happens there. I'm a bit nervous fading Stewart, but yeah, I don't know how long I'll be thinking like that for. But yeah, this Fremantle Port Adelaide buy plan, I think, isn't a bad one. And then yeah, when you got six or so players premium wise with that buy, just sideways trade them to Petrarca or whoever I don't have at the time. Dunkley, there's always someone there. And particularly at that part of the year when you're finalising your team, when haven't you thought, far out, I don't have this guy, he's making me pay every single week. That's not going to be a problem for me, because that's going to be like a BBL week, just sideways trade to a player I spoke about before. I think you get what I'm talking about. And I'll wrap it up there, I suppose. Yeah, pretty stoked with the side. Can hear your thoughts, and yeah, if you're interested in jumping on the SuperCoach Saw Play merch, DM myself, Janeth, or DR. The website will be available very soon. More updates on Twitter. Follow my Twitter if you haven't already. I think we just ticked over 1,800 followers. So, yeah, I appreciate everybody that gets around me on there. It's just such a great community, and yeah, big things happening this season. A little bit of dedication to my channel. I'll probably just do my round reviews, if I'm being honest. I'm not going to do much rookie stuff. There's just not much time for it. Been pretty full on with my gym and all that sort of stuff. But 100%, the Saw Play podcast, we're going up another level this year. And I just can't wait for what we can do this year. And just going to be some great content, some really good banter. We're just going to take the piss, dive into a bit of round review stuff and get guests on. And yeah, it's just about one of the most highly anticipated parts of the week, and we're going to start that up, I reckon, maybe a month before round 1 or round 0. when the sort of community series games are firing away and people are really getting stuck into SuperCoach again, we're going to start smashing it. And on the topic of that, I'm not sure how likely it is, but we are looking for a sponsor. So if anyone wants to sponsor the Saw Play Potty, feel free to. Particularly that we got merch. It's just a great way for revenue, I suppose. But that's another story. Yeah, that's about it. I think I've covered everything. Keen to hear everyone's thoughts on the side, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video, I suppose, for another team update later on. I'll keep you updated on Twitter, but for now, take it easy, look after yourselves, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next video.